Now that we've synced the contacts for United Oil and Gas Corporation, I want a sales associate to populate their last contacted date. Afterwards, I can do a batch data sync in order to populate these dates back into Salesforce, enriching the Salesforce data as well. I'm going to ask Carson, the account director for United Oil and Gas Corporation, to update these fields.
My manager asked me to update the last contacted field for the contacts belonging to United Oil and Gas Corporation. I'm going to head over to the contacts table and insert these dates. Great, now my last contacted fields are populated. Now that I've updated these fields, Jane can use a batch data sync to update their existing records in Salesforce.
Carson has let me know that he populated his required fields, so I went ahead and set up a batch data sync. Let's take a look at how I did this. The first step was to create a query. The query results is the data which will be used to update the records in Salesforce. I selected the relevant columns from the contacts table. We first selected the Salesforce ID. This will be our unique sync key column reference. In addition, since the name field in Salesforce originates from a first and last name, I separated full name out in our query as well. Since we only want to update the contacts belonging to United Oil and Gas Corporation, I added a filter in the where clause. Let's run it and take a look at the results. Perfect, these are the results we are looking for. Now here's where I built out my XML. All I needed to do was link my query and map the selected columns to their corresponding columns in Salesforce. The schema was automatically populated by loading in the metadata from the query we just had a look at. Now, for our sync target, I selected Salesforce and populated the section here. The object in Salesforce is contact, and here's the link for the Salesforce login. The client ID is the unencrypted client ID for Salesforce, and the client secret is the unencrypted client secret for Salesforce. These are our Salesforce credentials, unencrypted as well. The UI will encrypt these for us. We have set auto-assign to true. This will set an ID for any new record synced into Salesforce. False is the default, but it is irrelevant in this case as we are not going to be syncing in any net new records into Salesforce. As mentioned before, our sync key is the Salesforce ID, as it is always unique and it is best practice. Finally, since we are only updating existing records, we have set new record behavior to ignore, along with dropped record behavior. Changed record behavior is set to update. Once I saved this, Cinchy automatically inserted the completed XML into the data sync configurations table. I can also run the job from here. Let's run the job. Great, our sync was successful. Let's log into Salesforce to see if this column has been updated for the 3 records. Perfect! Avi, Lauren, and Stella all have populated last contacted dates, and they match the dates we've entered in Cinchy. The batch data sync from Cinchy to Salesforce has been successful.